Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. And can you believe? Wow, this month is almost over. But we still have 7 more days left. So, for today, we of course have your news headlines coming up. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, being part of my conversation with Dr. Teresa A. Smith, or Dr. Taz, discussing her new book, Transformation. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines. In Mississippi news, Rankin County School District reverses mask requirement. The Rankin County School District has reversed its mask requirement. On Wednesday, the school district announced that the district's Board of Education voted to change the mask requirement to mask not required but highly recommended. School district officials made the change after recent statistics showed a drop in COVID-19 cases since the start of school. In early August, the Rankin County School District, who started the year with a mask optional policy, voted to reinstate a mask requirement as the state of Mississippi began to see an increased number of COVID-19 cases due to the highly transmissible Delta variant. Other metro area school districts adopted similar policies as cases continue to surge, causing controversy among some groups. Several recent board meetings in both Madison and Rankin County faced sometimes heated protests over the mask requirements. The Rankin County School District said it will continue to monitor and adjust the plans for the health and safety of students and employees throughout the remainder of the school year. In more COVID-19 news, COVID-19 creates dire U.S. shortage of teachers and school staff. One desperate California school district is sending flyers home in students' lunchboxes, telling parents it's now hiring. Elsewhere, principals are filling in as crossing guards, teachers are being offered signing bonuses, and schools are moving back to online learning. Now that schools have welcomed students back to classrooms, they face a new challenge, a shortage of teachers and staff, the likes of which some districts say they have never seen before. Public schools have struggled for years with teacher shortages, particularly in math, science, special education, and languages. The stress of teaching in the COVID-19 era has triggered a spike in retirements and resignations. Schools also need to hire staffers like tutors and special aides to make up for learning losses, and more teachers to run online school for those not ready to return. Teacher shortages and difficulties filling openings have been reported in Tennessee, New Jersey, and South Dakota, where one district started the school year with 120 teacher vacancies. Across Texas, the main districts in Houston, Waco, and elsewhere reported hundreds of teaching vacancies at the start of the year. Several schools nationwide have had to shut classrooms because of a lack of teachers. In national news, U.S.-French spat seems to simmer down after Biden-Macron call. The most significant rift in decades between the United States and France seemed on the mend Wednesday after the French President Emmanuel Macron and President Joe Biden got on the phone Wednesday to smooth things over. In a half-hour call that the White House described as friendly, the two leaders agreed to meet next month to discuss the way forward after the French fiercely objected when the U.S., Australia, and Britain announced a new Indo-Pacific defense deal last week that cost the French a submarine contract worth billions. The White House made a point of releasing a photograph of Biden smiling during his call with Macron. The call suggested a cooling of tempers after days of outrage from Paris directed at the Biden administration. In an unprecedented move, France last week recalled its ambassadors to the United States and Australia to protest what the French said amounted to a stab in the back by allies. As part of the defense pact, Australia will cancel a multi-billion-dollar contract to buy diesel-electric French submarines and acquire U.S. nuclear-powered vessels instead. In more national news, closings begin after R. Kelly declines to testify at trial. A prosecutor began closing arguments in the R. Kelly trafficking trial on Wednesday by telling jurors that the government had delivered on its promises to prove that the R&B singer had for years commanded close associates to help him target, groom, and exploit girls, boys, and young women for his own sexual gratification. 6 weeks of testimony from more than 45 witnesses and other evidence showed he did just that, said the assistant U.S. attorney. Before closings began, Kelly told U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly that he won't take the witness stand, allowing him to avoid the risk of potentially brutal cross-examination. In more national news, Biden meets with Democrats as $3.5 trillion plan faces party split. time growing shorter, President Joe Biden launched meetings Wednesday with House and Senate Democrats as Congress worked to bridge party divisions over his big Build Back Better agenda ahead of crucial voting deadlines. And finally, in entertainment news, Melvin Van Peebles, godfather of black cinema, dies at 89. Melvin Van Peebles, the groundbreaking playwright, musician, and movie director, whose work ushered in blaxploitation wave of the 1970s and influenced filmmakers long after, has died. His family said in a statement that Van Peebles, father of the actor-director Mario Van Peebles, died on Tuesday evening at his home in Manhattan. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Choose to have peace of mind. Just like happiness, when you choose to have peace of mind, it is yours. Your mind is like an open field with all your thoughts running through it. Thoughts you want and thoughts you don't want, all scampering to get your attention. Any thought of fear and any loving thought lies in your mind right now. It is your choice in any given moment to choose between love and fear, success or failure. These thought choices remain in your mind. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. Whatever thoughts you choose to retain in your mind will be created in your life. Your success in life starts in your mind. Be positive and know God is with you. Keep positive people around you. Block all negativity from your mind. Become aware of the tons of negativity thrown at you through the news or society or technology. Keep positivity flowing through your field of thought as you picture yourself achieving success. Today, achieve success in life by cultivating a positive attitude through your thoughts and your faith. And remember, enjoy your day.
Dr. Taz is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Dr. Teresa A. Smith and Dr. Taz joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the makeup of her new book, Transformation, and its 10 messages. Here's a bit of our conversation.
So as I mentioned, this book is broken up into 10 messages. How did you decide on that and what the messages were going to be, Dr. Taz?
Yes, Cyrus. As I said, we alluded to when I was on Amazon Live, I'm always writing. And Jacqueline Thomas is my writing coach, and she says that really it's possible you should write something every day. And so I'm always writing. And I'll be honest, this book started out much larger. There were more lessons or more messages. But when COVID happened in early 2020, I realized that people needed something that was short and simple, meaning short and simple from my perspective, and not something that was overwhelming. Folks that I was talking to, people I was meeting, a lot of people rather were struggling, and they just needed a word. And so what I did was I started going through my messages, and I tried to determine the ones that I thought were the most significant given the time that we were living in. And I tried to see if they were put together, if they could convey a positive message. And so that's how I actually put this book together, because I pared it down to these 10 messages. And I think the first one is change is challenging. And it is. And that's something, as I talk about in the book, that I learned many moons ago working on a psychiatry unit. And I didn't understand it when the person said it to me. But over time, over years or decades now, I've come to understand it better.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll have you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it amazing. Take care.